Today on X-Play. Klingons. Housewives.
I did work up quite a sweat cleaning your house.
Mages and spies. Give your partner a boost. It's game time.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Adam Sessler. Morgan Webb.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Prepare to be reviewed. This is X-Play.
Hello and welcome to X-Play.
X-Play is America's leading provider of game reviews, now that IGN relocated most of their operations to a sweatshop outside Jakarta.
And you have to ask yourself, is America safe when our reviews of action platformers are being produced in foreign nations?
We're lying about the Indonesia thing, but still, who knows where the internet comes from? With TV, you can be sure the sassy game mockery you're watching is 100% Americanese.
Today's high-quality gaming excitement comes from such games as Star Trek Tactical Assault, giving you the chance to create your own Kobayashi Maru, and Mage Knight Apocalypse, which is apparently about a guy who multi-classed. And later in the show, we've got a review of Splinter Cell Double Agent, which brings back old-fashioned stealth gameplay to the 360.
But we begin not with state-sponsored killing or Galaxy-class starships, but the more subtle tensions of suburban America. If you've ever hoped for a game where you could level up your casserole-making ability, your dreams are now made flesh. Here's Desperate Housewives.
You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun. Well, those skeptics are about to be proven wrong. Desperate Housewives, which is based on the popular ABC soap opera, is about to introduce you to a completely new genre of video game. Prepare yourself to experience what we like to call the MILF Simulator.
It's probably not as bad as you think it is.
MILF, of course, being an acronym which stands for Mothers I'd Like to, how do I say this? Fool around with. Look, we can't afford the FCC lawsuit, people. Desperate Housewives may look like a knockoff of The Sims. And it is a knockoff of The Sims. But here's the difference. It features a storyline. You play a housewife who moves to the neighborhood with her family.
Welcome to Wisteria Lane.
Wait, did I say housewife? I actually meant to say tramp. You see, in this game, you have the option to seduce those around you. So before we could even unpack the silverware, we began having risky casual sex with everything that breathes. We had sex with our husband, our neighbor, and some guy we met at the mall.
I guess you shouldn't be picking up strange men for quick sex if you don't really want it.
Oh yes, just like my mother always told me. No one in this sleepy suburban hamlet was spared our libido. Even the mailman fell prey to our carnal desires.
I didn't think it was possible, but you were even better the second time.
And the housekeeper? My God, we are insatiable.
Actually, maybe a shower would be better. I did work up quite a sweat cleaning your house.
The only person who wouldn't have sex with us is this guy, and it wasn't for lack of trying.
If I wasn't gay and you weren't married, I might think you were serious.
We also thought it was sort of odd that you can wear a bikini all day and none of your neighbors seem to notice or care.
Hey there, do I know you?
The big surprise is that Desperate Housewives isn't completely terrible. It's actually a perfectly competent Sims ripoff. So if you love The Sims and you love the TV show, you'll probably dig this domestic diversion. And as an added bonus, the characters actually speak English instead of gibberish.
Wow, thanks.
Fortunately, there's more to this game than just small talk.
You will never die of boredom. There is always something going on.
Desperate Housewives features a ton of minigames and bonuses to keep you entertained.
Hey, honey, that smells really good.
The graphics are also pretty good.
Just observing beauty.
And we had a great time breaking and entering in order to dig up dirt on the neighbors. Unfortunately, the game is loaded with product placement. There are in-game advertisements for Slim Fast, Chrysler, and Sears. For a TV tie-in, Desperate Housewives isn't the worst you could do, but it's also not the best.
Once you select Turn On, being near the television will raise your happiness.
They're lying, people. Desperate Housewives gets a 3 out of 5.
Why did you do that?
It's a game where one of your missions is to sleep with a man to get his chili recipe. Is it genius or madness? Or is there even a difference anymore in this age of hour-long soap dramedy? I don't think any of us has an answer, just the overwhelming knowledge that Felicity Huffman probably has a penis.
Genre-defying television is a disease, from the aren't we witty melodrama of Gilmore Girls to the faux reality sitcomery of The Office. I don't like watching television that does not clearly explain to me what it is saying by satisfying various cliches. That's why I'm pissed off Enterprise was canceled. You always knew what you were getting from a Star Trek show, except for Deep Space Nine. Let's wrap ourselves in a warm blanket of sci-fi with Star Trek Tactical Assault.
In the past, Star Trek games have been incredibly disappointing to say the least, and as a result, you're probably thinking, oh great, Star Trek, now Seth is gonna make bad jokes about another crappy game, then a random celebrity head is gonna pop in and make fun of him. Thankfully, that's not the case here. Star Trek Tactical Assault for the PSP has taken aspects of strategy gaming and spiced them up with some super hot arcade-style action. The result is an interesting starship combat game that's actually entertaining. The story focuses on the Federation Klingon conflict. You're a fresh face straight from the Academy rookie captain, the kind of guy Mr. Sulu would have taken a real interest in, you know, just to help him out. As captain, you'll command a basic ship and a wily pack of recruits who can only relay information to you via text boxes. Lots and lots of text boxes. Wow. Look at all those words. You know, if I wanted to read something, I'd read this, or this, or these. What, so I like Harry Potter? A lot. Between missions, you'll hand out promotions to crew members. Doing this increases the strength of your ship, but does nothing to decrease the number of text boxes. Seriously, you guys couldn't hire a single voice actor? In combat, you can redirect the ship's power to increase the strength of your weapons or defenses. But remember, as captain, you're the first one everyone blames in defeat. Hey, come on, it already said mission failed. Don't you think that hurt enough? One feature we liked was the ability to avoid combat situations by negotiating. Of course, you can also make matters worse by taunting your enemy. It's nice to know that if things get too hairy, you can always just run away. The actual ship controls leave something to be desired. Playing in 2D, you really have only two options. Go left or right. So the battles tend to involve flying in circles and taking shots where you can. And since the weapons need time to recharge between bursts, the combat can be really slow. Oh no, the ship's on fire. Somebody help. My Harry Potter books are in there. Still, it's hard to find a good Star Trek game, and as far as Star Trek games go, this one's pretty good. The graphics are solid, and there are plenty of ships, battles, and other explorables to explore. Star Trek Tactical Assault gets a 3 out of 5.
A decent starship combat game is a rare treasure, like a senator with good hair.
But it'd be nice, if they could integrate more of the elements of classic science fiction television into the Star Trek games.
Like comedic moments of interspecies misunderstanding or incompetent empathic ship's counselors with gigantic asses.
Well, we've still yet to see a Battlestar Galactica game, and I firmly believe that when it comes out, we'll get the intense politicking and human drama I want in a sci-fi show, but in game form.
Ah, so you're saying you want more Desperate Housewives in your Star Trek games?
I'm saying I'm a Battlestar Galactica fan, so yes.
Up next, the best games with 2 in the title. And later, Splinter Cell Double Agent on X-Play.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of
Ninja Warrior. Weeknights starting Monday at 6:30 and 10:30. Only on G4.
Worshipped by the people of Tuvalu, it's Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play. A few days ago, I was watching VH1 because I like to keep up to date on what's going on in Jose Canseco's life. But on the way there, I found that there are a number of other television networks providing very similar pop culture commentary shows in convenient list-based formats. Well, if Bravo can pretend to be VH1, so can we. Thus, we here at X-Play have decided to provide you with our own sassy list. Here's the 4 best games with 2 in the title.
It's X-Play's Top 4 presented by Chic Quattro. Top 4 games with 2 in the title. Number 4, Call of Duty 2. War. It changes you. Unless you play video games. Then it's fun. Number 3, Need for Speed Underground 2. When racing through the streets, don't forget to wear a seatbelt. That's just being responsible. Number 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. a one-man army, guns, and hubs. Now that's solid metal. Number 1, Dead to Rights 2. With 2 2s in the title, what else could be number 1?
You know, those are all just sequels. I'd like to see more witty, broader definitions of 2 in the list composition.
Don't tell me. Please direct your criticisms to the person, place, or object who creates the top 4 list.
And while I'm directing my opinions, you, the viewing audience, should share your opinions as well. Swing on over to our website and let us know which game you'd rather see. A sequel for Psychonauts or Advent Rising.
And we mean that as a question, not a joke.
In a moment, Mage Knight Apocalypse, and later, Splinter Cell Double Agent on X-Play.
So log on to hbb.com now.
Coming spring 2008, it's Adam Sessler.
As a child, I had 3 heroes. They were my dad, because he seemed stronger than my mom, Mr. T, because he seemed stronger than my dad, and Thundar the Barbarian, because he had a giant mutant and a sexy sorceress as sidekicks. Thundar's bright-assery was only compounded by the fact that he lived in a post-apocalyptic future, which seemed really cool before the Postman came out. There still isn't a Thundar game, but we do have lots of fantasy hack and slash to remind me of his absence. Here's our review of Mage Knight Apocalypse.
It doesn't take much for a hack and slash action RPG to be good. Some hacking, maybe a little slashing. We're not asking for much. Well, that's exactly what we got from Mage Knight Apocalypse. Not much.
Damned Atlanteans!
You'll start by choosing from 5 customizable characters. Do I want Dragon Guy to be purple or green? Oh, I just can't decide. Unfortunately, this is the most interesting thing about the characters. Sure, there are lots of skills to learn, but who cares? The characters are flat and the missions are boring. Like this one. Sneak across the river to help Gron here get his stash of herbs from a cave. No, seriously.
I fear that if I cannot reach my stash of herbs in the cave across the river, I'll be done for.
Once you've secured the stash, head off on another boring mission. The graphics are weak and the camera angles are shaky and awkward at best. Kind of like Michael J. Fox in a political ad. The game has no music. None. Of course, we've spiced up this review with some fancy public domain music, but listen. That's what the game really sounds like. You'll eventually earn allies to battle alongside you, but instead of battling, they're mostly just good at getting lost and being completely useless. Hey, speaking of useless sidekicks, I wonder how Gron's doing. Ungrateful hippie. They tried to make the game easier, or at least less frustrating with the revive function. After you die, you start in almost the same spot with half energy, so you can get killed all over again. And again, which gets really, really frustrating. An engaging storyline could have saved the game. Could have. But it was just too boring and most of the time didn't make any sense.
The sky is wide, and the eagle sees far.
What?
I understand little of what I've seen.
Yeah, I know the feeling. This could have been a good game. It should have been a good game. But make no mistake about it, this is not a good game. It's boring, it's stupid, and it's just not fun. Mage Knight Apocalypse gets a...
No! Not now!
Yes, now. Mage Knight Apocalypse gets a 2.
No!
Out of 5. I love the smell of mediocrity in the morning. It smells like...
Nora Jones?
I was gonna go with Michelle Branch.
Well, we're generally comfortable with defining semi-whiny female singer-songwriters as the embodiment of mediocrity.
Yeah, well, Fergie, she may not be like a great artist, but at least her constant breakdowns and self-urination, give us something to pay attention to, and that's worth it.
And it's hard to describe rappers as mediocre because we rerun shows for a couple of weeks, so there's the constant possibility that Chingy will actually get shot while the show's still airing, and then we'd be mocking the dead.
And we don't like to mock the dead, who have gun-toting friends likely to take vengeance on us.
Moments away, Splinter Cell Double Agent on X-Play.
Attention all gamers, X-Play is now interactive and in prime time. Join Adam and Morgan for game reviews, live on-screen chat, and video viewer mail. Weeknights at 8, only on G4.
Why are you so stupid? You're not hungry for girl. You're hungry for hot pockets.
The show, weeknights 11 on G4.
There are no Dragon Riders of Pern. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play. In the novel 1984, George Orwell talks of a future in which a constant state of war allows the government to restrict personal freedoms, but without anyone noticing because the war never ends. He encapsulates it in the conundrum, war is peace. But Orwell was totally wrong. It took us nearly 20 more years before that went into effect. And also, killing elephants is cool, not sad.
But sometimes we get tired of the war on terror and constantly thinking about domestic spying. We want to relax, play a game, and escape into a world of fictional domestic spying. Here's our review of Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Yes, folks, just another day at the office. Welcome back to the spine-cracking world of international espionage. What's exciting about the latest installment, Splinter Cell Double Agent, is the intriguing new storyline. When Sam Fisher's daughter is killed in a tragic car accident, he goes completely mental. You know, you'd think that a tactical ops expert would teach his daughter to look both ways before crossing the street.
Out of the way, lady!
Anyway, to get him back on track, his boss assigns him to a dangerous undercover operation. Sam starts off in prison and quickly makes friends with the natives in order to infiltrate a domestic terrorist organization.
We're dedicated to tear down a corrupt government.
It's a nice change of pace for the series, but honestly, why didn't he just pick a fake name?
And our newest recruit, Sam Fisher.
You mean you really couldn't make one up?
You're my ace in the hole, Fisher.
And another thing, how is it that nobody notices Sam's fancy spy gear? I mean, for God's sake, his watch says jam signal, frame Enrica, destroy ship.
You're asking too many questions.
Okay, I'll stop now. Nitpicking aside, we're loving the grittier storyline and a more adult feel of Double Agent.
I know a pretty cute girl. She sucks a mean...
Whoa. The show runs on G4, not HBO.
Boring, but acceptable.
So, you're probably wondering, if the storyline's received an upgrade, what about the actual gameplay?
There have been slight changes.
Yes, very slight changes. The control scheme is essentially unchanged. Hiding in the shadows, throwing items to distract guards, and climbing the sides of buildings is just as fun and satisfying as it always was. Man, I could do that all day. And as years of Tony Hawk games have taught us, if it ain't broke, developers aren't gonna bother fixing it.
This time, I'll let you slide.
But who's complaining? It doesn't take fancy goggles to see that Splinter Cell Double Agent looks fantastic, thanks to a powerful next-gen boost of graphical horsepower.
Man, what a view!
But we do have one major gripe with the game. The streamlined Spies vs. Mercs multiplayer mode just doesn't live up to its predecessors. Like last time, the Spies play in third-person view, while mercenaries must control in a first-person perspective. However, Mercs are no longer able to set up complex traps for the Spies. It makes the gameplay more accessible to beginners, but it also oversimplifies things, making the mode feel more like a standard Halo deathmatch than a true Splinter Cell game.
Lambert, it's time for me to retire.
Not yet, Sam. If Double Agent is any indication, this series still has a lot of life left in it. Now, if only they would fix the busted multiplayer mode. Splinter Cell Double Agent gets a 4.
She sucks a mean...
out of 5.
Seeing as we've gone to all the trouble of reviewing games today, why don't we make a nice X-Play replay?
Oh, make it all nice and everything. Desperate Housewives got a 3 out of 5 because we were shocked it was a functional game.
Shocked.
And sort of impressed by all the Sears product placement.
It's amazing. Star Trek Tactical Assault got a 3 out of 5 as the rare, decent Starship Battle game. It's decent.
Mage Knight Apocalypse got a 2 out of 5 because it's lots of hack, lots of slash. Not so much on the interesting or fun.
It's a problem. And Splinter Cell Double Agent got a 4 out of 5 because cutting people's throats is always fun.
Oh, tell me about it. And speaking of, well, it's time for Video Viewer Mail. Today's Video Viewer Mail comes from Gabe, and here's what he asked.
Hi, Adam and Morgan. My name is Gabe Lanciano. I'm from Milford, Massachusetts. and recently my Xbox broke, and I don't know if I should just get a new Xbox or save up for either the Wii or the 360. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's probably time to move along to the next generation of consoles, though. I don't know how old he is, but I don't know how he can save up money.
Paper routes? Do you have paper routes anymore? Do people read the paper?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, it
anyway.
depends on what console you get is going to depend on what kind of games that you like to play.
Well, the 360 is more likely to have the kind of games you've been playing on your Xbox, and a few of them will even play on it.
Yeah.
So if you want shooters, sports games, and other standard man fare, the 360 would be the good answer.
And we do love the Wii, but it has a fundamentally different kind of gameplay. Not just the classic Nintendo platformers and goofy games, but also approaching more mature games from a different perspective.
In sum, we'd probably say your best bet is to go with the 360.
It's been out for a year, so it's got a nice back catalog of titles, and the Wii isn't that expensive, so maybe in the not too distant future you can use that paper route money to afford a second console.
So we hope it doesn't influence your decision, but in thanks for your video viewer mail, Gabe, we'd like to reward you with some lovely games.
We're sending you Fear, Extraction Point, Aragon, and World of Warcraft all in stores now. We hope this will give you some quality PC gaming time while you try to figure out which console to buy.
Thanks to Vivendi Universal Games, who gave us these games to give to you, and we're going to be giving away more of these game bundles to anyone who gives us a viewer video mail, and then we put it on the air. So you guys should come by g4tv.com/xplay and send us the video viewer mail.
If not for the games, at least to share in our vast wisdom.
This gift comes from the bountiful heart of XPlay.
Today on